been working for a good while, like a long time, and I thought it would be funny, just a fun video for once, yay, to do a video about all the different jobs I've had. So, ooh.
I'm not single. I'm taken. Taking my fat ass to Mickey D. Yeah.
And probably this alone should have been like, one of those indicators that my brain might be wired a little different, and that's okay. And also, sometimes my stubborn ways, I suppose, would have an effect on that as well. But yeah, if you want to check out all the places I've ever worked and also see a mini tier list, let's get to it. So I'm going to do my best to try and stay in like chronicle order, just so it's best to understand and easiest to understand how, I got to these jobs when, so on and so forth. So I actually was working long before the age that you're technically supposed to, and I will explain that. So first I was helping my mother, like cleaning houses, things like that, which awesome. Got a paper route, so I wanted to take part in that too, and I ended up with his paper route somehow, and I don't know, we all had paper routes, so I had paper route, and then at the end of that, my mom basically would help me out and drive me, and then I think she finished it out for us, yeah, but it was cool. I liked that job. I really didn't mind that job. It was really nice to aid the community and also, get those little gifts for Christmas. It was really sweet. Like a lot of people would leave like little gifts or like just $5 or something, to show a thank you. And I thought that was always really nice. So after those like smaller jobs, I went into my first like kind of realer job, like a more real job, okay? And that's at this place called Becker Farms. And it's funny because my family is family with those who own it and run it, so it just made it easier and more fun. And also my aunt was there at the time, so I was at Becker Farms, and I started off doing like, the pony rides and helping out with the kids because that's where I definitely shine. And then I would do like the haunted houses, which I really loved that. I always thought that was really fun. And then I did more haunted houses outside of Becker Farms. So we're already at like what, 5?
Tell us what's up down on the farm. Hi, Melinda.
Hi.
You brought so many delicious goodies with you today.
And since Becker Farms was more seasonal, I knew I was going to need something else, so I started working at McDonald's, everybody's favorite first job. And let me just say, if you're just starting to work, like it is a good first job. I will say that. Then I went on to, a couple things that I didn't get paid for, which would be like helping my high school design swim team shirts or, logos for a couple things. I also worked at Wendy's because at this point we were moving from New York and to the more like Pittsburgh area. And I was there for a while and I finished out my high school there. So I started working at Wendy's. I went back to McDonald's for a little bit. I worked at Gabe's, which was a clothing store. And then, Lord knows, be still my heart, one of my favorite places in the whole world that I wish was still around, Blockbuster. Y'all know, if I'm going to speak about a job that I used to have, it's likely going to be Blockbuster. One, because I was there the longest, and it was one of my favorite places ever to work, and I just really enjoyed it. Because I remember people saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and I thought, well, I love video games, and I love movies, and I love talking about video games and movies, and I can sure talk about that. So, yeah, that's why I went with that, and it worked out really well for me. I did do well at Blockbuster, but yeah, I was there for a while, and then eventually we would move again, so I ended up at places like GameStop. I was at GameStop for a bit. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That was fun. It's higher up on the tier list for sure. I really, really do love GameStop. I really do love Blockbuster. They were some of my favorite places to work, and I will stand by that. Then there was plenty more, don't worry. I was babysitting. Another one I did, like, job was babysitting. I have 10 or 11 nieces and nephews, and I spent like almost a solid decade of my life just helping be there for them, helping raise them, helping care for them. No pay. That pretty much started like definitely around 12 to 13 because that was when my first niece came. And then till my early 20s, I think, I was helping care for the kids, watching the kids all the time, every day. Sometimes it would be up to 6 kids a day. It was fun, I will say that. But I guess I never anticipated the outcome of all that fun time, right? Like I thought that we could all look back at it with love in our hearts and joy in our minds, and I could have gotten a thank you at least. Maybe. Mind you, I was doing all that and still managing, like going to high school and then graduating and then going to college for a few years. So I was like not just working, I was like continuously working through my schooling and going through all that. And I don't know, I think maybe I need more than one job at a time. So a lot of the work at the time was always part-time work or things like that. So I usually ended up having, you know, a couple. So in the Pittsburgh area, I also worked at this really fancy golf course where I gave out, you know, food and all that. It was fun. That one wasn't too bad. I did like that one. I liked the outfit for that one a lot. I liked the fancier environment. I felt like more comfortable in that environment. I felt like this is more my style. I did work at a donut shop for a whole day, and that was it. It was terrible because it was like my first actual day was supposed to be the day after prom, and it was like, come on, man. Like, everyone's gonna call off for that, so I don't know. I also worked at Save-A-Lot, so that was being a cashier and just, you know, cleaning things up, cleaning up the aisles. So, yeah, believe it or not, like when people think that I never worked or, you know, maybe I'm just so lucky. No, I've been working since I was able and even before. Okay, so for a while, I was also the activities director, and it was activities and events. So I did that for a geriatric center. I really love that. Not gonna lie, I always loved working with the children and the elderly. It just was another thing where I felt most comfortable. I also worked at Ponderosa Steakhouse. There's a few more, don't worry, I know. So I counted overall, and there's about 30 places I've worked. And what does that tell you? One, that my brain is definitely wired differently, because I knew I wasn't like the regular Joe Schmo 9 to 5. Like, I just knew it wasn't for me, and that's okay. So I also worked at the Mug, which was like more of a dive bar, bartending there. I worked at Blockbuster again, which amazing, just in Michigan instead of you know, in the PA area. I also worked at Lucky Strikes as a bartender lead, like main bartender. I really loved Lucky Strikes. I was there for a good while too, for like a hot minute, like a few years. Almost Subway, but then I did not stick with Subway. And I also taught art classes to those with special needs, those without, of all ages. So that was like one of my most recent. And it's interesting because I haven't worked in a while. Like, it's been, you know, nearly almost a decade now. But even when I wasn't working, I was still working. Like, I was still, through this whole time, doing school, doing the jobs, I was also still painting, selling artwork. And I've always done that, like, throughout. So for me, like, I find for me personally what works best is odd jobs and, you know, part-time jobs, because as someone whose brain is wired differently, you know, you get sick and tired of the mundane, and when things get like too repetitive, it's like, no, I need to spice this up. So I'm not trying to make excuses as to why I work so many jobs. I'm just honestly pretty proud of my work ethic and the fact that I've been working since I was like, what, 10 officially? Yeah, and then that's just madness. So yeah, where have you guys worked? Let me know down below. Did you work at any of these places? Did you meet me at any of these places? Were you like, wow, this girl works everywhere? Because I know a lot of people were like, girl, how do you work everywhere? Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to check out my Whatnot, Insta, Snap, Twitter, all those other places, okay? Check it out. It's worth it. Love you so much. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye! We all need a little bit of rest and relaxation, and a funny video is a proper thing for right now. I promise you. Or maybe it's not. Who knows? Let's find out.